Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go with them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, get your story titled, Would I be the a-hole for dumping my girl after she ignored my calls and messages and went clubbing while I was undergoing emergency surgery? And shout out to Matthew for sending me this story. And guys, this story is about a guy. He is 22, been with his girl for 5 years. He is actually planning on marrying her, even bought the ring, which is nuts. And lo and behold, one night his girl went out on a Saturday night to like clubbing with her girlfriends. And this dude wasn't invited because it was some special event. And out of nowhere, he started having severe pain in his stomach and also down south. And throwing up and all that, he needed to go to the hospital. He immediately reached out to her because, of course, his loving girlfriend would want to help him. And she kept ignoring him, hanging up on him. And he messaged her saying he's in trouble, needs help. Again, she thought he was joking and acting like a jackass. And she kept hanging up on him, and to the point that he had to go to the hospital. He had the ambulance come. But it was a serious situation. He had to have surgery, emergency. And now he's done with her. She's begging and pleading for a second chance. She's so sorry and assured him that nothing was going on and that she thought he was kidding, blah, blah, blah. But I think something was definitely going on at the club with some dudes. And he's told her to get out, pack her crap and get out. And I'm going to think about where we stand. And of course, she's having a meltdown, an emotional breakdown, I think is the word he said. And I was wondering, really, am I going too far? Was she really drinking? Thought I was joking, something like that. And, well, you're going to see what happens there and what I think about that. I'm going to go over here, guys, to show you that it all boils down to in life, people's actions and how they treat you. That tells you everything you need to know. And quite frankly, I think this guy he got a good warning sign from the universe or her true character. If you're going to marry someone, you damn well better be able to count on them in an emergency situation. But they'll see more as I go into this story. He says, I am a 22-year-old male and my girl, a 22-year-old female, have been together for 5 years. We've been together since high school, and until recently, I always considered her my future wife. Well, not anymore. I even bought a ring and was planning on proposing over the next couple months. Smack! Are you nuts? 22? No. I don't care if you're going to get engaged years later. Still, no. You're kids. Yes, I know out there guys are going to say, my grandparents got married 19 years old. It isn't 1955, motherfucker. It is the 2020s. Bad idea. So last weekend was my girlfriend's best friend's birthday. She and her friends booked a private lounge at a club. Uh-oh. Nothing good can come from this. Obviously, I didn't go since I, number one, wasn't invited, and two, I hate clubbing or anything associated with that. Well, I'm with you, man. But they didn't invite you? That's interesting. I was actually looking forward to spending an evening alone and just binging Netflix or something like that. Well, my girlfriend left around 9 p.m., and I just crashed on the couch and watched some YouTube. She'd been watching my channel. Well, around 11 p.m., I started to feel this distinct stomach pain. The same pain you experience when somebody hits you in the nuts. Whew. It wasn't bad at first, and I just thought my body was playing tricks on me. But in the span of 5 minutes, the pain just getting worse and worse until I was basically stuck in the fetal position on the couch. Again, initially, I just thought the pain would go away. But then I pulled down my pants, and it felt like my right nut was starting to swell. Shit, dude. Go to the hospital. But the thing is, he's hurting so bad, he can't just go drive himself. And an ambulance ride would cost him a fortune, you know. So watch what happens next. The moment I tried to get up and grab my phone to inspect whatever the F happened to me, I just collapsed on the floor. That was probably the worst pain I ever felt in my life. Imagine being pelted in the nuts over and over again. I did manage to crawl to the table next to me to get my couch, to the couch and get my phone. I immediately tried calling my girlfriend, but she declined my call. So it's not like it went to voicemail. He said, like, you can tell when somebody's actually hanging up on you. Yeah, okay, that's a good sign. I then texted her that something was wrong and could she come home immediately. The club she went to was like a 5-minute walk from our apartment. I just put the phone down and started throwing up because of the pain. After throwing up for like a minute, it felt like the pain started to cool down a bit, and I grabbed my phone again. And that's when I saw her response. She just replied, "What is it?" with a unhappy emoji. I tried calling her again, but as expected, she just declined again. I then texted her that I need to go to the hospital now. Okay, so any loving girlfriend, if the guy's calling and texting and saying he's having an emergency, would drop what they're doing. 5 minutes away, she can jog in her high heels and come help him. But she keeps declining his call. She's probably with her girlfriend. Like, oh, God. Bill keeps fucking texting me again. Oh, he's so needy. This is why we didn't bring him along. Meanwhile, she's probably grinding with Chad or Tyrone. She then asked for what? And I just replied, my balls hurt. I then just dialed for emergency services. I explained my situation to the emergency responder, and she asked if there was somebody that could drive me to the hospital, and I stupidly said yes. I thought my girlfriend would be home soon, and she would drive me to the hospital. I felt embarrassed to call an ambulance because my balls hurt. Well, I'd be embarrassed too, but Lord knows that insurance costs for calling the ambulance to come pick your ass up. After I told the emergency responder this, she then told me she would call me again in 10 minutes to make sure I was being driven to the hospital. I then put down the phone and went back to vomiting on our carpet. So, isn't he, I mean, I don't know where they live, but does he have any friends? Is there anybody else other than his girlfriend, a bro, or a relative? Again, after the pain went away for a bit, I checked my phone and saw my girlfriend responded with laughing emojis. I tried calling her again, but as expected, she just declined again. She texted me that this wasn't the time to play games, and then she told me that if I texted or called her again, she'd block my number. Obviously, he's not joking. What a fucking bitch. This is the girl he wants to marry? You know, I'm sorry this is happening to him, but this experience is actually, there's a silver lining to this, to see her true colors. This is going to be your future wife. Look how she treats you. And I might add, if she really cares, she'll be out clubbing without you. After I told the, oh crap, I almost skipped a paragraph here. I again tried to call her, but then she declined again, and she said blah, blah, blah. I realized actually she blocked me. So she blocked you? Can you imagine the situation was reversed, what she would be freaking out about if he blocked her, and she was hurting? I went back to curling up on the floor, and now I started shivering. At this point, I didn't care about being embarrassed and just called the emergency services again and asked for an ambulance. It felt like an eternity, but the ambulance eventually came and rushed me to the hospital. I don't remember much of surgery since I was sedated, but I remember waking up eventually, and my right testicle was being stitched together. Oh my God. So yes, it was a real emergency. Jesus. I'm feeling pain just hearing this. It's a guy thing. To the 4% of women that watch me here, this is why guys act the way they do. When they see, like, remember that show back in the day, America's Funniest Home Videos? And pretty much it was like America's Funniest Guys Get Hit in the Nuts videos. And every guy who cringed like, because that's how bad it is. I'm cringing as I read this here. The doctor informed me that I had a testicular torsion, and I was extremely lucky to reach the hospital in time. I could have easily been forced to surgically remove my testicle. Oh, God. Jesus. I checked my phone and saw the missed calls and messages my girlfriend left me. In summary, she came home from clubbing and smelled the vomit in our apartment. When she saw the vomit on our carpet, she got mad and tried searching the apartment to find me. When she realized I wasn't there, only then did it hit her I was actually being serious. What a selfish a-hole. And I don't want to hear, I was drunk. Bullshit. I just texted her in which hospital I was staying at and my room number, and then went to sleep. I woke up the next morning and saw my girlfriend sleeping on a couch next to my bed. I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. After she woke up, she started bombarding me with apologies. She thought I was joking and that I was trying to ruin their night, etc. I didn't have the energy to argue, so I just kept quiet. Dude, smack, kept quiet like a little submissive little, I get you were, it was after surgery. I've been in surgery, I know what it's like. I'd be like, get out of here. End of story. I'm going to call the fucking nurse, drag your ass out of here. I was beyond hurt by what she did, and I wanted to break up with her then and there. I would have. Why the fuck would somebody ignore messages when their partner is begging them to come home? Not only that, she stayed in the club until 3 a.m. and didn't even consider coming home to check on me. That's because she was out having fun with Chad and Tyrone. Yes, I'm cynical, but I have a good reason to be. She did stay with me in the hospital for the remaining 2 days. I was admitted there and did take good care of me, but I was still beyond pissed off at her. I would have sent her packing. Ever since coming home yesterday, I've been wanting to dump her. But at the same time, I feel like she generally thought I was joking and made a mistake. I feel conflicted and don't know how to proceed with this situation. Would I be the a-hole if I dumped her? Am I overreacting? No, you wouldn't be the a-hole. Dude, this is a sign of your future. And frankly, I don't like the idea of going out clubbing and all that. And he wasn't invited. And it didn't sound like he was giving her a hard time for going. He said, hey, I'll just be at home watch Netflix. He says, how would you guys navigate this mess? I don't know. Dump her. Move on. He says, just to clarify, no, I never had an issue with her going out in the first place or ever pulled pranks for her to come home from a night out. And by the way, thank you guys for so much support. I'm beyond blown away. Now to his update. And what happens? He says, first of all, I would like to clear up some misconceptions brewing in the comment section of my last post. No, I have never pulled any malicious pranks on my girlfriend to come home early from a night out or anything like that. Neither do I have any issue with her going out as long as she doesn't come home at like 6 a.m. And no, I've never blown up her phone like that when she was out with her friends. We usually go out together since we share the same friend groups. Of course, the comment section is full of people giving him a hard time for all these things. It's Reddit, what do you expect? They want the guy to be the villain here. They want the girl to be the hero. Here are my messages between she and I from WhatsApp in order to people to... I just texted her my balls hurt or something like that. His first text to her was, after she declined 2 calls, he says, please come home, something is wrong. She says, can't talk right now, what is it? He said, after trying to call her again, I need to go to the hospital. Her response was, what? Again, he said, after trying to call her, my balls hurt, please come now, something is wrong. Now, she's drunk. I can see her being hee, but still take it seriously. She gives him laughing emojis. Then he says he tries calling her again after calling the emergency services. She then says, I swear, don't bother me again or I'm blocking you. Let me fucking enjoy my night out. What a heartless a-hole here. What else does he have to do? She couldn't pick up the phone once. There's a reason she didn't pick up the phone, because there are probably dudes grinding her. He tried calling her again and again and got blocked. And her next message after unblocking him was, what the fuck is there vomit on the living room floor and where the fuck are you? Why is the front door locked if you left somewhere? Still, she comes home and tearing him a new one. She then went into a full mental breakdown as she realized I was being serious by going to the hospital with over 70 messages. Well, she deserves her mental breakdown. He needed her. Can you imagine the situation was reversed? Oh, she'd dump him, but that wouldn't happen because this guy would go to help her. He says, yes, it was stupid of me to expect her to drive me to the hospital since she was drinking, but again, in that type of pain, you don't think clearly. I think I need her more for moral support, and I did it out of pure instinct. No, it wasn't stupid because you needed help. She could at least maybe helped you up a little bit, someone there to be with you. 2, not immediately calling an ambulance was also stupid of me. I was in a lot of pain, but stupidly at the time thought that whatever I was going through would eventually calm down, and driving to the hospital would be better than calling an ambulance. Also, in hindsight, me being embarrassed about calling an ambulance with my balls was definitely also really stupid. He's 22. He doesn't know. He probably knows darn well it's going to cost, be a big insurance fight over the ambulance cost, but still. He says, the amount of mental gymnastics some of you did in my comment to paint me as some sort of dweeb or emotionally needy person for bothering my girl was truly mind-blowing to me. I promise you, if my girl was in my position and I ignored her, none of you would be defending me. Right, exactly. Now to his update, where she gets what she deserves. He says, thank you all to those who wish me speedy recovery. I'm doing much better now. Not being able to go to work for the next 3 weeks is definitely a bummer. I work for my dad's construction company, and my job requires lots of lifting of heavy weights. If you work for your old man's construction company, why the fuck didn't you call your dad? Or some of the other guys you work with or something like that. I'm sure there was someone else other than your a-hole girlfriend you could have reached out to. But he was probably really messed up, and we've all been in tough situations. I'm also prohibited from having any SEX for the next 2 to 3 weeks as well. I wouldn't want to touch her. I might have also developed some trauma due to the pain. I randomly get the same sensation again, and it's driving me nuts. See what I did there? No pun intended. As for me and my girlfriend, it's complicated. It doesn't sound too complicated to me, man. As so many of you and my mom told me, 5 years is definitely a long time to be just throwing away without having a proper conversation with her. Of course his mom said that, huh? So I did just that. I told her how hurt I felt about everything. I mentioned the following points. Number 1, her ignoring my messages and declining my calls. Yes, clubs are loud, but wherever I'm from, there are smoking areas where you can definitely have a conversation over the phone. 2, blocking me after I tried calling her. That was the most heartless thing that she fucking did in that situation. 3, her not checking on me, or even though the club she went to is only a 5-minute walk from our apartment. She could have left and gone to see if he was okay and come back, and I'm sure the bouncer would have let her right back in because she's young and pretty, and that's just what they do. Also, her being angry about the vomit instead of being concerned. After hearing this, she got defensive and told me that I could have conveyed my situation better and that she generally thought I was joking. Yeah, make him out to be the bad guy here. It's your fault. She was drunk and wasn't thinking clearly. Oh, it's the alcohol. Blame the alcohol. She also told me that it could have been that painful, and I was over exaggerating. So still, she's in the doghouse here, and she's still blaming him. Could have been that painful. I then told her yes, I could have phrased my messages better, and I apologize for that. Smack! Don't apologize. That makes her even more bold in her bullshit. But then described the pain I was in and told her I barely had the strength to text her, let alone send a detailed description of what was happening to me, and definitely couldn't think straight throughout everything. After hearing what I said, she started crying and apologizing for what she did. Hobag Handbook Chapter 2. She knows this guy means business now. She told me she knew how serious I was. We wouldn't have been having this conversation. She then also apologized for being mad at me over the vomit. According to her, she was drunk and tired and was just expressing frustration. I was drunk and tired. I almost lost a ball that night, lady. I then asked her why she thought I was joking and if she was cheating on me because this was seriously out of character for her. Hence why I immediately trusted her with this. She started crying harder and she looked like I just slapped her in the face. No comment there. She told me that she just thought I was being insecure about her being in the club with a bunch of guys, and no, she wasn't cheating on me, and she would never do something like that. Hang on. He wasn't invited to this birthday thing, and she's there with a bunch of guys, and she's ignoring him and then blocking him. What is he supposed to think? I don't buy her story for a minute. We then hugged for a solid 10 minutes after that. Aw, smack, break up with her. The next part was really hard for me to do, but I told her I needed some space to gather my thoughts and told her she needs to stay with her parents for the time being. Thank the Lord. Here comes Niagara Falls. She immediately started having a mental breakdown and asked if I was breaking up with her. Mental breakdown, huh? Time to block her. I told her I wasn't sure and needed time to see if I still trusted her after all this, and what she did was beyond disrespectful. How could I trust someone with my life if they pull something like this? I then told her that we were young, and this mess was mostly caused by our immaturity. This entire situation was an important life lesson for the both of us, regardless if we stayed together. Dude, it told you everything you need to know about her, and I do not believe for a second she wasn't up to no good. After begging a bit more, she then put her head down, really, and started packing a few essentials. Before leaving, she told me she would do anything to make this up to me. Okay, put your head back down, honey. And that I could take as much time as I needed. She then gave me a big kiss and left. That was 2 days ago, and this is where we currently stand. I still give her updates on my healing, but besides that, we don't contact each other. Dude, don't reach out to her. The part of the whole time and space away from her to think, or more importantly, make her think, you shouldn't be reaching out to her. I'm really torn right now. I still don't have that trust in her, but her owning up to her mistakes shows that she knows she fucked up and is remorseful. Sounds like she's only remorseful when she thinks you're going to end it with her. You know? We saw her getting defensive a moment ago. This is definitely something out of the ordinary for her, but there will have to be major boundaries and new rules set, I think, and I can think of the following. Well, before I read his rules and boundaries, a lot of guys will say like they had this great relationship, and then she does something like kind of like this, in terms of attitude and behavior that's out of the ordinary, and then these guys find out that they're cheating. When your girlfriend or wife suddenly, who's been seemingly great all these years, starts acting out of the ordinary, that's because something is going on behind the scene that is out of the ordinary. His boundary and rules are, number 1, if she blocks me again for anything, blocking herself from ever seeing me again. 2, ignoring the messages will not be tolerated anymore. 3, if she goes out alone again, she has to pick up if I call regardless of the situation. Number 4, as many suggested, having emergency code like hospital or something would probably have to be implemented. I'm not going to abuse any of these boundaries, but I just want peace of mind knowing that my partner has my best interest at heart, even when she's physically not around me, but I don't know. Again, I just want to thank you guys for everything, and this whole experience was definitely an eye-opener for me. Should I get back together with her? No. If yes, would my demands be reasonable, and could I add something more? Would I be the a-hole if I dumped her after this whole saga? No, dude. Here's what I think. She has the power in this relationship, but the moment she's freaking out realizing she's losing her guarantee, she probably knows you have a ring for her. And this list of rules and boundaries she'll probably agree to initially, then she'll back out all of them. Probably all her friends are saying you're being insecure and trying to control her with those rules and boundaries. And it's just not going to go well. She told her actions, and it's all about actions, told me everything I need to know about her. And I'm convinced with her being out there with all those dudes and blocking you and her out of the ordinary behavior, I've been doing this too long and I lived too long and had experienced myself to know when they're acting out of the ordinary, that's because something is going on. I think this guy needs to do some serious investigating. And in the meantime, you're keeping your distance from her. Don't chase after her. Don't call her. Don't text her. Don't do any of that stuff. Oh, I'm sure she'll call and text you. I promise you everything. But, dude, you dodged a bullet here. End of story. Do not propose to her. You want to marry this? You can't have a relationship without trust. So, good, I'm glad you kicked her out because that's really what he did. And she can think about what she's done, if you will, like a little kid. But no, it's over. And if you take her back, I think you're going to have more of this shit down the road. You're going to find out in time, guess what she was doing with the frat boys at the club. But I wish you the best, bro, and I hope you make the right choice. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let this guy know what you think. Do you think she was really just dancing with her girlfriends in the club, or there was something else going on? That's the real reason she blocked him. And do you think this guy really ought to take her back? I sure as hell wouldn't. And be sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe. I'll catch you next time.